You have been systematically lied to about time, aging, and masculine value. Modern culture, obsessed with the shallow illusion of youth, trained you to believe that growing older means becoming less desirable, less powerful, less relevant. They told you gray hair is decline. Lines on your face are weakness. Years passing mean your value is dying. But reality tells a far more dangerous story. Because a foolish man fears age, a forged man becomes lethal with it. What women notice is not youth. It is strength earned through storms. Calm built through pain. Presence shaped by loss. Power that no longer needs to prove itself. Youth is loud. Maturity is undeniable. And the man who conquers time becomes impossible to ignore. 1. The absolute mastery of stillness. If you want to understand why stillness has power, do not watch what a man says when life is easy. Watch what he does when pressure enters the room. A young man who has not mastered himself reacts quickly. His face changes too fast. His voice rises too soon. His hands move without purpose. He laughs when he is nervous. He explains when no one asked. He tries to win the moment because he is afraid of losing value. When you see this in yourself, understand the truth beneath it. Your body is not seeking connection. It is seeking safety. Your nervous system is asking the room for permission to relax. A grounded man does the opposite. He does not rush to prove intelligence. He does not fill silence like it is an enemy. He does not treat every emotional shift as a crisis. He lets the moment come to him. This is why stillness feels powerful. Psychologically, people read calm as competence. When danger appears, the group does not follow the loudest person. It follows the person whose breathing stays steady. In 2009, Captain Chesley Sully Sullenberger landed U.S. Airways Flight 1549 on the Hudson River after both engines failed. He had only minutes. No performance. No panic. No dramatic speech. Just training, clarity, and stillness under impossible pressure. Later, people called it a miracle. But the deeper truth is colder. It was composure built over decades. That is what masculine stillness means. Not looking calm for attention. Being calm because your inner world has been trained. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." That sentence is not poetry. It is a weapon. When a woman challenges you, disagrees with you, becomes emotional, or tests your boundary, she may not be doing it consciously. But her nervous system is watching. Can this man hold himself? Can he stay clear when the air becomes heavy? Can he remain kind without becoming weak? If you react with anger, you show she can move you. If you over-explain, you show you need to be understood. If you chase her mood, you show her emotions lead your frame. But if you pause, look at her calmly, speak slower, and answer only what deserves an answer, the entire dynamic changes. Imagine a man at dinner. She says something sharp. The untrained man instantly defends himself. His tone tightens. His eyes search for approval. Now she knows where the button is. The trained man hears the same sentence. He takes one slow breath. He does not punish her. He does not submit. He simply says, "I hear you." Then he returns to his center. That kind of calm creates weight. Because stillness says, "I have survived harder things than your mood. I have buried older versions of myself. I have lost, rebuilt, and remained standing. I do not need this moment to obey me. I only need myself to obey me." This is the psychology of trust. A reactive man makes people manage him. A still man makes people feel protected around him. So when you feel yourself rushing, slow down. When you want to interrupt, listen. When silence appears, let it stay. When tension rises, lower your voice instead of raising it. Do not perform peace. Build it. Because the man who masters stillness does not need to dominate the room. The room adjusts itself around him. 2. Protect your time ruthlessly. Time is the only wealth every man spends at the same speed. The poor lose it. The rich lose it. The powerful lose it. And no man has ever earned back one wasted hour. A young man rarely understands this. He treats time as endless because death still feels theoretical. So he gives his nights to pointless arguments, his mornings to distraction, his focus to people who do not respect him, his energy to situations already dying. When you see yourself over-explaining to someone who keeps misunderstanding you, staying available for people who appear only when convenient, replaying the same emotional chaos again and again, understand what is really happening. You are not losing time. You are trading life for uncertainty. Psychologically, many men tolerate this because of scarcity. They believe another opportunity may not come. Another woman may not come. Another friendship may not come. Another chance may not come. So they cling. But scarcity makes weak decisions. It keeps men in rooms that drain them because they fear empty space more than bad company. A mature man learns something colder. Empty space is often where strength returns. This is why boundaries feel powerful. They are not aggression. They are clarity made visible. When someone repeatedly disrespects your standards, delays your peace, manipulates your emotions, or consumes attention without reciprocity, the deepest response is rarely anger. It is distance. Because anger still gives energy. Distance removes access. Steve Jobs once said, "It's only by saying no that you can concentrate on the things that are really important." That was not only business advice. It was life architecture. Every serious man eventually learns that each yes costs something unseen. A yes to chaos costs calm. A yes to distraction costs mastery. A yes to the wrong person often costs years. Warren Buffett became one of the most successful investors in history. Yet he repeatedly said the difference between successful people and very successful people is that very successful people say no to almost everything. That principle was never just about money. It was about protecting finite attention. Imagine two men receiving the same midnight text from someone who disappears for weeks, then returns only when lonely. The first answers instantly. He feels chosen. He re-enters confusion hoping this time it becomes real. The second reads it, understands the pattern, and places the phone down. No speech. No resentment. No need to punish. He simply refuses to rejoin what already proved itself unstable. One man chases possibility. The other respects evidence. This is emotional intelligence in masculine form. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." But the soul is also colored by what it repeatedly tolerates. If you keep allowing disorder into your life, eventually disorder feels normal. If you keep protecting peace, eventually peace feels standard. So when a dynamic repeatedly exhausts you, believe the pattern. When someone only values you when losing access, notice it. When conversations circle without progress, step out of the circle. Speak less. Decide faster. Leave earlier. You do not need dramatic exits. Doors close quietly. A man who values his time stops trying to be understood by everyone. He reserves explanation for those who have earned access. Because time is not hours on a clock. It is your life in pieces. And every man reveals his standards by where those pieces go. 3. Lead with calm decisions. Many men think leadership means control. Others think leadership means dominance. Both misunderstand it. Real leadership is simpler, heavier, and quieter. It is the ability to remain clear when others become confused. It is carrying uncertainty without spreading panic. It is making decisions when hesitation would cost more than mistakes. A young man often avoids this burden. He asks endlessly, delays endlessly, needs consensus for every move. He mistakes passivity for kindness because he fears being blamed. When you see yourself asking for permission in places where responsibility is yours, waiting too long after the facts are already clear, hoping someone stronger will step in, understand what is happening beneath the surface. You are not avoiding conflict. You are avoiding weight. Psychologically, indecision often comes from identity protection. If you never choose, you never fail publicly. If you never lead, you never get criticized. If you remain vague, your ego stays safe. But life does not reward preserved egos. It rewards useful men. This is why decisive men feel rare. They accept the cost others avoid. A woman often feels this immediately. Not because she needs orders. Because everyone is tired of unnecessary uncertainty. Modern life drains people with endless micro-decisions. What to do? Where to go? What matters? What comes first? Who handles what? A man who can calmly reduce chaos becomes restful to be around. When pressure enters a relationship, many men look outward first. What should we do? What do you think? What if this goes wrong? But a centered man looks inward first. He steadies himself. Then he acts. During the Apollo 13 crisis in 1970, NASA flight director Gene Kranz faced a damaged spacecraft with lives at risk. The situation was chaotic, technical, and changing by the minute. He did not dramatize fear. He organized minds, assigned tasks, and moved the room toward solutions. His now famous standard, failure is not an option, represented more than confidence. It represented leadership under pressure. That is how calm decisions work. They create structure where fear would otherwise spread. The same principle applies in ordinary life. Imagine a couple stranded at night with a flat tire. One man curses, blames the road, blames luck, checks his phone in panic, and asks what to do while doing nothing. Now she carries both the problem and his emotions. Another man steps out quietly, assesses the tire, calls roadside help or changes it, keeps his voice level, tells her to stay warm and relax. Same problem. Different nervous system. One multiplies stress. The other absorbs it. This is why leadership feels protective. Not because the man is louder. Because he is steadier. General Dwight Eisenhower, before D-Day, carried the burden of one of history's most consequential military decisions. Thousands of variables. Massive uncertainty. No guaranteed outcome. Yet he chose, accepted responsibility, and moved forward. Leadership is often the willingness to decide without perfect certainty. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." That includes moments when someone must choose. So when plans need direction, give direction. When a crisis needs order, bring order. When fear enters the room, lower your voice instead of raising it. When facts are enough, decide. You will not always be right. No leader is. But men are trusted less for perfection than for steadiness. A hesitant man transfers weight to everyone near him. A grounded man carries part of it himself. That is why calm leadership attracts respect before it asks for it. Because in a world full of noise, confusion, and delay, the man who can decide clearly feels like shelter. 4. Build quiet strength. Many men misunderstand power because they first meet it through appearance. They think strength must be visible. Money must be displayed. Status must be announced. Success must be witnessed to be real. So they buy symbols before substance. Luxury before stability. Attention before competence. When you see a man needing everyone to know what he owns, understand what may be hidden underneath. Often it is not confidence. It is insecurity wearing expensive clothes. Psychologically, loud displays are frequently compensation. When identity is weak, image becomes urgent. The outer world is asked to confirm what the inner world cannot. That is why some men chase labels, cars, watches, bottles, and applause long before they build discipline, savings, skill, or peace. They are trying to feel valuable by renting signals of value. But signals fade quickly. Structure remains. A mature man learns a colder truth. Real strength is often quiet because it does not need witnesses. It is the paid debt. The emergency fund no one sees. The skill set built over years. The body maintained through routine. The reputation earned slowly. The network built through character. The calm mind formed through adversity. This is why quiet strength feels different when you encounter it. It does not ask to be noticed. Yet it changes outcomes the moment pressure arrives. In 2008, during the financial crisis, Many loud fortunes collapsed because they were built on leverage, image, and fragile assumptions. Meanwhile, investors like Warren Buffett, known more for patience than spectacle, had spent decades building reserves, discipline, and judgment. When panic spread, structure outlasted noise. That is the psychology of hidden strength. When storms come, what was decorative falls first. The same happens in personal life. Imagine two men lose their jobs. The first built identity around appearance. Payments are high. Savings are thin. Skills are narrow. His confidence collapses with the paycheck because it was attached to the paycheck. The second lived below his means. Learned broadly. Built relationships. Saved consistently. Kept his body and mind sharp. He feels the hit, but he does not break. Because his life was not standing on one pillar. One had income. The other had infrastructure. That difference changes everything. Naval Ravikant said, "Seek wealth, not money or status. Wealth is assets that earn while you sleep." The deeper principle is that real value compounds quietly. The same is true beyond finance. A man who reads daily compounds judgment. A man who trains consistently compounds resilience. A man who keeps promises compounds trust. A man who controls impulses compounds freedom. None of this looks dramatic in one day. But after 10 years, it looks like power. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The cucumber is bitter? Then throw it out." Simple words, but practical wisdom. Do what works. Discard what performs. So if your spending is built to impress strangers, redirect it. If your routine creates appearance but not capability, rebuild it. If your friendships are social but not dependable, choose better men. Learn useful skills. Keep cash reserves. Protect your health. Develop composure. Become reliable under stress. You do not need to look rich to be secure. You do not need to look strong to be dangerous. You do not need to announce growth for growth to be real. Because the loud man often owns things. The quiet man often owns himself. And when life becomes difficult, only one of those holds value. 5. Desire without dependence. Many men confuse desire with need. They believe wanting someone deeply means they must hold on tightly. They mistake attachment for love, obsession for passion, and anxiety for devotion. So when attention arrives, they become consumed by it. When it leaves, they collapse with it. When you see yourself checking the phone repeatedly, measuring your worth by replies, losing focus because one person became your emotional weather, understand what is really happening. You are not in love. You are outsourced. Your center has been placed in someone else's hands. Psychologically, dependence often forms when a man has no deeper anchor. No mission. No internal standards. No life large enough to stand on without being chosen. So he turns one woman, one relationship, one approval source into meaning itself. That weight crushes attraction. Because no person wants to become another adult's oxygen. A grounded man desires fully, but depends lightly. He can admire beauty without worshipping it. He can enjoy intimacy without losing identity. He can care deeply while remaining whole. This creates a different energy. Less grasping. Less fear. Less control. More presence. More honesty. More calm. That is why non-neediness often feels magnetic. It gives space for real connection. The Buddha taught that attachment is the root of suffering. You do not need to adopt religion to see the psychology. The more tightly you insist life must give you one specific outcome, the more fragile you become when life moves differently. The same applies in relationships. Steve McQueen became an icon not because he chased attention, but because he often carried an energy of self-possession. He seemed complete before anyone entered the room. People are drawn to those who appear anchored within themselves. Now imagine two men after a breakup. The first begs, bargains, monitors social media, rewrites messages 10 times, and tries to force what has already left. He loses not only the relationship, but his dignity and peace. The second feels the pain fully. He does not pretend indifference, but he accepts reality, keeps his routines, trains his body, protects his work, and lets grief pass through without becoming his identity. One resists the truth and suffers twice. The other suffers once and grows. This is emotional maturity in masculine form. Epictetus said, "Never depend upon the admiration of others." That includes romantic admiration. If compliments build you, silence can break you. If beauty controls you, absence can weaken you. If being chosen defines you, rejection can destroy you. So build a life that remains standing either way. Love someone because you choose to share strength, not because you need rescue. Desire them because they add beauty, not because they replace emptiness. Welcome them warmly, but do not hand them the keys to your identity. Keep your mission. Keep your discipline. Keep your friendships. Keep your standards. Keep your solitude healthy enough that company becomes a gift, not a necessity. This paradox appears again and again. The man who needs least often loves best. Because he is not trying to possess. He is free enough to appreciate. And when someone senses that your peace does not depend on their presence, they meet a rare thing in modern life. A man who can love deeply, without abandoning himself. The gray in your hair is not defeat. It is the ash of fires you walked through and survived. Aging is not a curse. It is the great filter of masculinity. It strips away the weak, the anxious, the undisciplined, and leaves only the men who have learned how to stand. So do not mourn your lost youth. Your youth was noise. Your maturity is power. Master your stillness. Protect your time. Lead with calm strength. Keep building your fortress. Desire deeply, but need nothing. Then move through this world with the quiet gravity of a man who has conquered himself. If this video gave you something valuable, subscribe to Silent Stoic, so each day you become stronger and more peaceful. Which of these 5 habits will you master first? Comment below.